Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I have a bit of a different kind of video for you guys. Tonight we are back in the Shima. Now, you guys know that I play the Shimakaze a little bit different than most people. I don't tend to be that damage chasing destroyer player. And I'm no stranger to getting into gunfights in the Shimakaze. Especially if the other destroyer that I'm up against is another Shimakaze. So, we're going to showcase on this map. If you guys watched the stream yesterday, or last night, then you've probably seen this map, and I was a little bit frustrated due to being completely outplayed by a destroyer. And we're going to try to channel a little bit of that. Now, this video is a little bit older. It's not super old. I haven't been holding on to it that long. But anyway, you probably can tell by the title that this one is going to go sideways. But it's going to be a very fun little match. And it's going to showcase a lot of what I talk about when it comes to destroyer players. And the fact that I practice what I preach when it comes to what I say things about destroyer players. So hopefully you guys are ready. This one's going to get good, guys. Now, obviously, first things first, I talked about it yesterday in the stream. I like to push the destroyer all the way out to the edge. Not completely out to the outside edge like that Z did on stream, but I like to push out that wide because it A, allows me to move up and attack these guys, and B, I usually find the other destroyer out there. 9 times out of 10, on this side of the map, the destroyers end up meeting on that outside edge. And you can see, I'm just currently measuring everybody up. I don't want to throw my torpedoes out there too early. I want to hold on to them until I'm in a position where I've got a better angle of attack. And you can see, even there, I was like, don't really have a shot because we're going to lose some of the torpedoes on the islands, and we're not going to be able to get those torpedoes into a position where they can actually affect these guys. But the further I move up, the better my angle of attack becomes, and the more likely I am to actually be able to attack these guys. So I go ahead and I send one rack through that island. I check out the Yamato, and I'm like, okay, we're going to hold on to these next sets so that I can drop them once we get around this third island here. Now, right off the bat, you're probably thinking, well, Spartan, why are you damage chasing? I'm not. Again, I'm pushing forward. I'm getting into a position where I can spot these guys, and you can see, as we're detecting all these guys, we've got a target-rich environment. These guys aren't using the island behind or over there, the big fat island like I was in last night's stream. So I don't need to go super wide and try to get behind these guys. So I've got one set of torpedo out there for the Brandenburg. I completely missed the Brandenburg. Just barely. He slowed down just enough that those passed in front. However, this next set of torpedoes is going to be a lot harder for him to dodge, even if they weren't necessarily meant for him. So, is he going to get in front of them? And is he going to be able to spot them? And you can see, destroyer has been spotted. Now, obviously, if I get detected here, I have no choice but to engage, and there's a lot of people here that are going to want to shoot me. Okay, so I make the decision using my concealment. This is another reason why I run double concealment as we get a couple of hits on the Yami over there. Yami's always a target of opportunity. If you can get rid of him, or at least very seriously injure him, then you really do help your team because it's such a powerful ship. But Shimakaze is coming towards us. We break away. We're trying to draw the Shima out. You can clearly tell, A, we're located, and B, the fact that he's coming towards us. You can tell that this guy is running twist and track, which means he's going to be able to track my movement somewhat. And we want him to come out away from his team. As you can see, he's coming behind the island. And this is the difference between having a good concealment build and not. So, as he's closing, I'm paying attention, and I know that we're about to be engaged. As soon as he gets to 4.7, we light up like a Christmas tree. Now, obviously, we've gotten ourselves far enough away from his teammates that they're going to struggle to hit us. And you can see I'm still measuring these guys up. Nobody's in range anymore. I dropped smoke initially. That's going to allow me to disappear. I want to engage this guy on my terms. So what we're doing here is we're kind of watching what he's doing as we lay our smoke screen, and we are going to drop torpedoes to cover our backside. And we saw him turning inside, but we're going to go ahead and give him a nice little spread of tight spread torpedoes, three launches wide. It's not going to spread out a lot in the time that it takes him to get there, but it's going to at least make him think twice about following me. Well, he doesn't think twice about following me. He comes in. Now we've got him where we want him, and we're able to engage first, which means we get the first hit. Both of us get roughly the same amount of damage off of each other, but the difference between us is he goes full broadside, and I am giving a narrower profile for him to shoot at, as well as his team. And now he's launching torpedoes either at me or my teammates, and then he goes back to shooting his guns. And we've gotten 2 more reloads in the time it took him to do so. So this is why it's always a good thing to dictate the engagement rather than to allow somebody to dictate the engagement on you. Now we've got another fire going on the Shima. That's going to be a perma-fire. You can see the torpedoes, which we knew were coming, so we're easily able to dodge these. Even though they are faster than us, it allows us plenty of time to go ahead and dodge. We're getting a little bit of help from teammates, not a lot, but look at the damage difference between me and him. I have absolutely annihilated this man, solely due to the fact that we were able to dictate the engagement. Now, obviously he's dropping his smoke screen as an escape tactic, but here's the thing. He's already launched his torpedoes, and he's the only one that can spot me out here, so when he goes dark, he can't see me either. So we're going to go ahead and turn back around and try to re-engage. We know he has a terrible detection for a Shima, so we can absolutely run up on this guy and dictate the engagement. If he sits in a smoke screen, well, we're about to get our torpedoes back and we'll just flush that smoke screen out. And you can see that's exactly what I'm doing. I dropped 2 sets in there, and then I'm looking at potentially dropping a set in here on this Flounder. So you can see that I'm always paying attention, always trying for that extra edge. And my teammates haven't really done a lot on this side to help me. The Yami did die, which is always huge. But again, we had a lot to do with that. And the Shima that's over here is going to re-engage us with no health. And again, remember, he doesn't have the hit points. Like, we took all of his hit points, and he only hit us like once, because we were actively avoiding and he was trying to chase. Now, again, because of our teammates' positioning, I don't want to take this fight because he has a Flounder here. He also has the Mino behind him. So rather than trying to continuously fight this guy, who shows up once again with his terrible concealment, as we hit something with our torpedoes, assuming that that was the Flounder, we get another shot into that Shima, further taking away his hit points. And I'm also moving towards the Bravo cap. Why am I doing this? Well, it allows me to get to a centralized position on the map, try to take a second cap. The enemy has 2 caps, so we've got to start thinking about points here. We don't want to just sit here and slug it out with this Shima. We've done everything we can to try to take this Shima down, and so we have no choice but to run. Yami's able to finish off the Flounder, which is huge. We had something to do about that. You gotta love that. The Mino here is getting spotted by us, so we're going to go ahead and try to continue to keep him spotted. He uses his smoke screen to get away from our detection. And so, okay, we can't do anything there. It's time for us to move into the Bravo cap and start capping that base. And we're going to try to affect the guys in the Alpha cap. Now, we know that the Mino and the Shima were on their way. Well, the Mino was on his way outside, the Shima was on his way back, and we do have this Montana here that looks like a prime candidate for some torpedoes. So we're going to go ahead, hurry up, and drop, not the best drop in the world, but we're just dropping these torpedoes out there in the hopes that either the Alaska or the Montana put themselves in a position where those can actually hit them. It's not likely. And I don't intend to hit things every time I launch torpedoes. A lot of times, I just like to get into people's heads. And as a Shima, you can do that very, very well. Because you got 15 torpedoes, and everyone knows that if they take a single torpedo, it is absolutely devastating. Let alone 15 of them sent their direction. So a little bit of psychological warfare. You can dictate what other people do by making them think about what you're doing. And when you can't be seen, this really does affect the match. As you can see, Montana, trying to get away from our torpedoes, has opened himself up and been shot by our teammates. Our guys are being able to shoot from both sides of the map. We got the guys over on the outside of Alpha, but we also had the Yami in a good place on the backside of Delta who could shoot across the map and hit that Montana, which is what I think actually happened. Now, we see some torpedoes go by us. We've got a carrier flying over top of us, which is not preferable. And because of the torpedoes, we knew that this guy was right here, so we go ahead and we push up and get into a position to try to finish him off. Now, again, we have all of we're dictating the engagement again. Now he hit us going in. We're going to go ahead and back up and try to finish him off by shooting into the smoke, and we are unable to finish him off. Now the Mino's putting himself in a position where he could potentially kill us, so we've got to worry about that. We go ahead, we go dark, we finish off the Shima, finally, and we're still in the cap to get this. Now once we get this cap, we can leave this cap and go straight into the Charlie cap, and that's going to allow our team to have the cap advantage. Now I know that there's a Mino there, but again, Mino is now in open water versus 2 battleships. I don't like his odds in that situation, as he gets absolutely obliterated. So there you go. This will give us our second cap. We've already got the points lead because we have absolutely dominated this team, and we're going to be able to slip into the Charlie cap and grab that if we want. But on the other side of things, I also know that there's only 2 ships left. So if we take this solidifies our points lead, so we don't need to grab another cap. Instead, we're going to go out here and see if we can't find this carrier. And so that's what I choose to do. The cruiser is in Alaska. He's in the Charlie cap. He's going to have a rough time getting out of there. He did come out to a broadside battleship over there, and that battleship's probably going to be hurting because of it. But he's got our entire team focused on him. And so my goal here is to go after the carrier. It's just easier for me to sneak up on this carrier. This carrier has no idea, hasn't done anything the entire game to try to counter me, even though I've been spotted multiple times in the game. He even spotted me once on his own when he flew over the center cap, but he's been so damage focused that he hasn't actually done the smart play as a carrier, which is try to harass and get rid of the destroyer, who has been, up to this point, ripping his team apart with both spotting and getting out here and capturing the bases. So we get the Lexington spotted. Lexington, not the most dangerous carrier in the world when it comes to going after a carrier, but you definitely have to respect its HE bombs. And so we go ahead, we launch our torpedoes, and this guy is actually going to do a pretty good job of paying attention, knowing he's being attacked, and he's going to get out of the way of these torpedoes. So I definitely should have held these torps for a little bit longer. We do have them on the way, but the other side is we have our entire team here to shoot at them as well. Our battleship has finished with that cruiser, and so everybody is in a position where they can actually shoot this guy. And we do get some torpedoes out there, but none of them hit. We go ahead, switch over to AP because we're coming up onto an angle where we're going to be able to citadel this Lexington. So we go ahead, switch over to the AP, and just about the time that we get our AP loaded and sent into him, we managed to shatter 4 shells, and he gets obliterated by the Worcester and the battleship that was over there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This was a pretty solid showing for the Shima in both damage as well as just playing well. 3,000 base XP showcases just how important we were for the team. And we got top of the leaderboard. So let me know what you guys think. Is there something I could have done differently, maybe to get an even better result? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.